try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you. With them moves like Jagger, I've got them moves like Jagger, I've got them moves.
What's up, YouTube? MikeDecIsHere with 2 battles in 1 week. That's pretty shocking, right? Today I have a battle against a man who needs little to no introduction, Kawalski. A very good battler started posting about like 2 years ago. Very older generation of Gen 4. So here we go. Let's get started. I start off with my Heatran. He starts off with Gallade. And you know that feeling when you just go in and you're screwed? Well, that's how I felt right now, because lead Gallade absolutely butt fucks me. So I gotta get out. I switch to Gengar to avoid the close combat as predicted. And then I go to Jirachi expecting a sneak, but he just stretches out to Bliss. I guess not wanting to waste any Life Orb damage. He protects the Scout when I do. I sub, and I'm thinking, I don't know what he has, so I'm just going to do a safe Thunder Wave, and he makes a very good prediction and brings in his Nidoqueen, which basically could take whatever status I could throw at it. And I should have Iron-Headed just to come behind a sub. I wasted a good sub. It was kind of stupid, but I also knew I could bring in Breloom and get my Toxicorp activated. I don't know if that was a win-win. I don't know how I felt about that, but anyway, I bring in Breloom now. I'm going to sub just to scout what he wants to do, and he brings in Noir. And I don't like this thing. I don't know what else he has, but I'm okay with putting this thing to sleep, because I'll be back at full health anyway. So now I know something's going to come back in to resist Focus Punch. So I'm going to go with the safe Seed Bomb as he brings in Nidoqueen. And this does nothing. This does absolutely nothing. Once again, I also waste a sub here, but there's a specific reason. I don't want him predicting a switch when I switch out and going into something I don't like. So I know Ice Beam is coming, which means Suicune can come in for free and threaten it immediately. I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know if he wants to set some Toxic Spikes. I don't know what this Nidoqueen does. But I'm going to... Oh, I switch. Oh, I know what I did. I switched out to Heatran expecting the Bliss switch. But he makes a really good switch and goes out into Gallade. And here I'm thinking, okay, the Gengar switch is really obvious to dodge close combat, so maybe I'll be safe and he won't use it and use Zen Headbutt. But nope, he makes a safe play and just completely rolls over my Heatran. So now I don't have Rocks up, and I'm thinking, crap, I am in a terrible position right now. So I'm bringing Flygon just because I can. And I decided to just go with U-turn because he has a defense drop. I'm hoping it does a really good amount, but that just did nothing that I wanted it to do. So I know he didn't switch, so I'm thinking maybe he's going to use Ice Punch. I go to Suicune to sponge it, and he gets a crit here, and he's like, lol, crit, but I'm thinking, crap. I don't know if I can live a close combat now. But I don't think he thinks that he can kill me, so he switches off into Bliss. And I just go with Surf because I just don't want to take any chances. This is a terrible switch for me. I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know if he wants to status me. I don't know what his 4th move is. Or any of his moves, actually. So I'm just going to switch out to Breloom to Scout. And here, I believe he reveals the Wish, which is... Ugh. That's really scary. The Bliss Noir core is really underrated, and especially Wish Bliss with this team. If he passes off to Gallade, I am in a ton of trouble because that thing is really threatening. I switch in Flygon now just because I can, and I'm gonna go with the U-turn just to scout. But he switches into Nidoqueen to take the hit or to take the Wish. I U-turn and he gets a Poison Point, which I'm like, crap, that really sucks. But then again, he says like he couldn't burn it. So I mean, maybe it's something with Will-O-Wisp. Maybe that helped me off in the long run. So. It comes not coming to play. I see U-turn out to Suicune and take an Ice Beam. He gets another crit. Once again, I'm thinking, crap, that sucks. He brings in Gallade. I'm probably screwed. Really threatening. So I gotta go with the Surf just because I need to do something. So, or do I go with the Calm Mind? Yeah, I'm predicting Bliss to come in, so I set up a Calm Mind. That was really dumb. I should have just surfed. But the only thing is, why would you bring in Mesprit to a Suicune unless you have some kind of trick up your sleeve? So I switched to Flygon. But I don't know what it wants to do. But I know Flygon's a pretty good switch because more likely than not he's not going to use Ice Beam. So I U-turn out because I expect to switch here, but he actually stays in, which means if he uses Ice Beam, I'm screwed. But maybe I can go to Breloom. Maybe he's some kind of choice. And he uses Thunderbolt again, which means he most likely is choiced in some manner. I don't know what yet, but he's most likely choiced. So now he takes out the Mesprit because he can't really do much. And I Seed Bomb expecting Nidoqueen to come in because my thought process was if I sub and Seed Bomb and switch, I'll lose more HP. But he brings in Heatran, so he brings in Infernape. So I'm like, crap, that really sucks. That was a terrible move on my part. That was a huge misplay, and now I got to sacrifice something. And I bring in Flygon, hoping he uses a fire move, but he just uses close combat. He gets a crit. I don't know if it mattered. More likely than not, with Poison, I would have died, meaning Poison Point probably did suck. But point is, he made a good prediction. The kill, it was a worthy kill. And here I think this. Bliss Switch is too obvious, so maybe he thinks I'm going to use Focus Blast. So I go straight with a safe Shadow Ball, because worst comes to worst, I switch out to something else. And he brings in Mesprit, which is, it's a good kill, but I wasn't threatened by it. I have two Scarfers. I have this guy who's Scarfed, and I have Flygon who's, well, I don't have Flygon anymore. I still have this guy who's Scarfed. So if I used Thunderbolt and he brought that in, I would have still killed it. He probably would have been shocked, but I would have still had the kill. So I bring in Breloom because I don't want anything to get paralyzed, and thinking he's just going to S-toss me, I go back into Jirachi. But now he brings out Nidoqueen. And I believe here, is this the part? Okay, this is just a gigantic mind, just messing with my mind. I keep predicting some kind of Infernape switch because, I keep thinking, okay, if he brings an Apier as I Iron Head, I'm screwed because I can't do anything. So I'm just throwing up random subs, expecting a switch, and they're just not happening. He just keeps earthquaking me. I just get completely, even though I end up bringing him down to red, he kills me off, and he completely won this mind game. So that was great on his part. He just completely messed with me. So I Iron Headed finally, and he just goes to red, and he just kills me off with Earthquake. So yeah, it sucks that Haxrachi got him down to red, but when you look at it this way, he really beat me in the mind battle there. That was a great play on his part. But now I can just bring in whatever to revenge kill it. And I decided to bring in Suicune because, I can. And I think I would like some leftover recovery. And so I just surf off, and he just finishes off. I just finish it off, which is great. And so now Nidoqueen's out of the way, and I have Breloom has more of an opening. It doesn't have that much of an opening, but it has an opening. So he brings in Bliss, and I'm just going to Calm Mind because I have Rest on this thing. I'm not threatened by it at all. It's really not scary to me. This is my max HP, max defense, Rest without Sleep Talk Suicune. I use HP Electric because Giara is pretty threatening to this team if it gets a few DDs up. And Suicune can live anything and kill it with HP Electric. And if it's offensive, it's defensive. I can bring in Gengar, who's Scarfed, and can easily take it out with Thunderbolt. So I rest off here. He just S-toss. I believe he S-tosses one more time. And I'm just getting all my HP back. There's really nothing else to say here. It's just pretty much stall. The nice thing is I'm also running him out of S-tosses, which just gives me another chance to open up Breloom later in the game. Kind of my thought process that's why I kind of leave this thing in, because I also don't know what his fourth move is. So at this point in time, he realizes this is a looting battle, and he brings out Gallade. And here is a very, very, very interesting play that he switches out, probably expecting some kind of switch. I switch out Gengar. I realize, shit, I should have stayed in, let this thing in, and burn some sleep. But now I go right back to Suicune because I can. And he sets up a Wish. And this is really scary because if he goes back out to Gallade, because he can, I'm sleeping. I really have nothing. I don't want to bring anything in. And I need to burn sleep. Suicune's the only thing that could sponge any hit on this by Gallade. And yeah, there's the Wish. He passes off. I'm in so much trouble right now. I'm thinking, crap, this is a good game. I can't do anything. But, and this is the game-changing thing here. Because if this didn't happen, more likely than not, he would have beaten me. I surf, and I get a critical hit. And that one hacks was quite possibly the worst thing that happened this entire game. And I'm so sorry, dude. If that didn't happen, you more likely than not had this game sealed. And here's just a gigantic stall war. I'm just calm minding. I'm surfing. He can't do anything with me with Bliss. I'm just basically stalling out. just because I can. He's gonna get to a certain point where he runs out of selective tosses, which means Breadlum's gonna be fine. And I finally see his fourth move there, which is toxic. But you know, Suicune, this is basically a winning battle for Suicune. He's basically just sacking Bliss. I don't know why he didn't switch out at a certain point, but this is basically it. He's just, I think I throw some random rests in there just to stall more once I get to +6 and kind of just see how much it does. It's not enough for a 2-hit KO just because there's obviously no special attack investment in this thing, so it's not going to 2-hit KO Bliss. But this whole little stall thing right here, it took, this was like 30 minutes to stall. And I think I'm speeding it up for you like for a minute. So you got to understand how terrible this was. So here he makes a good switch. I have to rest. I don't think I'm going to kill with Surf. And he brings in Infernape. And yeah, that was a great move on his part because I'm resting up. And this next series of events is my fault because I calced it. And I think I calced it wrong because I was thinking that his close combats I did this in my head. I didn't really want to look up a calc, but I was thinking his close combats were doing that close combat did 154 damage. I thought that 154 was the max. And you'll see in a second. I get 25 leftover recovery each turn because of my HP number. You can see that did 150. So 150 is like min. It's like middle range. So more likely than not, that HP I would die. But I didn't realize that. I was an idiot. And I was like, okay, I could live with like 3 HP left, or like 10 HP left. This is pretty good. And he just straight up kills me. So that was like a big fail on my part. Another giant misplay. Another reason why I can't believe I pulled this. I can't believe that this happened. Just completely BS on my part. But at this point in the time, I know that Gengar is going to come in. I'm scarfed. I can outspeed whatever. And Bliss Switch is obvious now, so I'm just going to Focus Blast. Just because I can. And that did a lot, so obviously I'm going to go for it again, even though he might protect. But at this point in time, it's pretty much just good game because I believe Bliss is out of Seismic Tosses. And I switched to Breloom to confirm this. Because if he had S-tossed here, then if he had thrown a Seismic Toss here, then he could have simply brought in Infernape. Although at this point in time, if I killed Bliss, the game was pretty much sealed because Gengar could take out both Noir and Infernape with Shadow Ball. So he protects. I set up sub. Switch to Dusknoir is obvious at this point in time, so I just use Seed Bomb. He gets a little bit more. So there's the Wish. I throw a Seep. I'm just a bunch of HP back. There's really nothing else I could say here. He withdraws Bliss. He brings out Noir. I throw up a Seed Bomb, predicting the obvious switch, because even if he brings in Ape, Seed Bomb at his health that he's in might KO. Blissey will take a butt ton from Seed Bomb anyway, and Noir resists Focus Punch anyway, so the safest play was to use Seed Bomb. At this point in time, I do get a little bit more lucky, but I don't know how much it affected the battle. It sucks. It's really unfortunate, but I could have just spored and subbed and did whatever, and I just don't think it really mattered all too much. So I believe he gets 5 turns sleep because he brought in the Noir that one turn, and 5 is max. I had no idea. I thought 4 turns was max. I was like, oh man, dude, I'm so sorry. This really sucks. And so he brings, so he basically brings Basically, he gets all turn sweep. I just KO now. I mean, it sucks. It's really unfortunate, dude, but I just don't know how much it would have affected it. Like, at this point in time, I think I have the game sealed. I really do. So he brings an ape. At this point, I know the game's over. No matter what he does, Focus Punch is going to kill something, and I can just take out Bliss. Even if he does show me he has U-turn, which actually was really surprising to me. I had no idea he had U-turn, which I've never seen U-turn on a Life Orb set. So another good play on his part, just closing down the score. But like I said, at this point in time, I know I had the game in the bag. Focus Punch was the safest play. It hits whatever. So he'll take out Breloom, but I mean, Gengar will just roll him over. So there goes Focus Punch. There goes all that HP. There goes Bliss. In comes Ape. He's going to KO me with an overheat. And and it's going to be down to Gengar and Infernape. A Scarfgar versus Infernape, which, I mean, there's only one answer to that. That little health. Shadow Ball is going to easily take him out. So this is a very good game, Kawalski. I'm so sorry for the hacks, dude. That hacks on Gallade sucked. It really did. That was really game changing. But it was still a good game. This lasted an hour and 15 minutes. It was a very good battle. Definitely if not one of the best 4th-gen battles I've had. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment if you liked. Please sub if you liked. Check out TeamUber.net. It's a really great site. And yeah, peace out, guys. Hopefully there's more to come.